אנחנו לך מודים, אנחנו לך מודים, אנחנו לך לעולם ועד. צור חיינו, מגן ישנו, אתה הוא לדור ודור. מודים אנחנו לך לעולם ועד.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom Rav,
Shabbat
Shalom Rav, Am Yisrael
Shabbat
Chatasim leolam.
Shabbat
Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Am Yisrael Chatasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon,
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. One more time. 999, 999. Find your seats. 999. Everybody come on in. It's time for Shabbos. Everybody have a seat. 999, 999. One more time. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, oh Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה 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 טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to Micah. We are, as always, an inclusive and innovative synagogue that explores and celebrates Jewish life. It's committed to building community and to helping repair the whole world. What does that mean? What is Micah? So Micah is a harbor into which an anchor is cast at a moment of inevitable silence before or after a storm. Micah is a seashell where one can hide at a moment when the soul sinks down to the depths of the ocean. Micah is a song and a prayer and a dream at any moment when the Spirit sails forth. Micah is a voice that calls out, trying again and again to cause us to make the decision between indifference and action, between spiritual improvement and oblivion, between kindness and cruelty. Congregation Micah is togetherness from within, and it's where we are tested to do the most difficult and sometimes most simple of all things, love each other. So, I'm Rabbi Flip. Rabbi Lori joins us. She will share Torah with us later this evening. And this is Brett Fromson. How'd I do?
Did great.
Yeah, it's not Ken or Josh Goldberg. But we're starting our service this evening thinking about the happy things. We got a baby we got to bless later that's going to make everyone go, ah. But early in the service, we like to share some of our happy feelings because that allows us to enter Shabbat in a more happy communal way. So what does anybody have? Does anybody have like a birthday? Oh, yay. You've got to come forward for a birthday. Come. Just come, because birthdays include special blessings, and we're going to have you help light candles. Does anyone else have a birthday now that you know what's going to happen to you? There's another birthday? Where? Sue? Baxter, come forward, come forward. You feeling good? You look good. Okay. So birthday, yours was last week? We'll take last week, Sue, come on. We got to get the service going. Any anniversaries among us this evening? Did anybody make a final mortgage payment? Somebody have anything happy they want to share with the community? What do you have? Shout it out, I'll repeat it. I got accepted into graduate school. Thank you. It's exactly what I'm talking about. Already, we're going in a little happier. What do we got?
Grant Schuster is 10 this week.
Okay, birthday of a grandchild, 10 years old. That's impressive, too. Okay. Anybody else? What do you got, Scoop?
She got her license.
Oh, you got her license. Do you want to come forward? Just come forward. You would like to stay there.
No, she needs blessed.
She's driving. She needs to be blessed. We'll shout one out. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to offer you a little birthday blessing, and then if you don't mind, I'm going to have you light our Shabbat candles, and we'll start this thing going. I want to say, Eloheinu v'Elahei avoteinu v'imotenu. We asked all of the prayers that God has blessed us before. Bless the three of you and all the people that love you here in this community. With many more birthdays, may we all live to Mea Esrim, 120. Baruch atah Adonai shekekiyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Everybody says.
Amen.
We thank God for creating us and for helping us along the way and for enabling us to reach special occasions. Okay, come light our candles, please. Watch your step.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechad likneh v'tzivanu lechad likneh v'tzivanu lechad likneh shel Shabbat.
We thank you and continue warming up by welcoming the Shabbos angels.
Cece wants to be closer to me. That's because I sang Wheels on the Bus to her before services. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlach. המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. בורכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. ממלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. ממלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. ממלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
And we invite the community, if they are able, to please rise for the words of Hatzikadosh.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ביעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדושה לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. Amen. ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. לי 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 יא לי 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 יא לי 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 לי
We invite you to be seated. So I know I'm very excited about this too, CC. A very powerful thing happened this week. Two of our own came home. And I was listening to a colleague on a podcast who was talking about watching the video and listening to the audio of the rescue. And there was technology, there was thermo stuff they could see, but the audio showed these soldiers, these very macho men, getting to these two men and surrounding them and saying, "We have been looking for you for months, and you are going home alive." And they surrounded them with their bodies, and they took them out, and as they took them out and they were transported by helicopter, they said things like, Are you okay? Are you cold? And one of them said, I'm warm in my heart. There are still people in there, and we'll pray for them tonight, but this makes me feel the connection of what unity means, what it means to be one people, and to feel the sorrows and the joys together. So I share that briefly as we sing together these ancient words of unity.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
We continue chanting together the words of Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha vadibarta bam veshivtecha v'veitecha uvlektecha vaderech uvshokbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beinenecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha Uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher otzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Are you ready?
I am.
Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet, originally sent to the northern kingdom of Israel during the reign of King Ahab some 3,000 years ago. And through displays of miraculous power and prophecies of hard truth, Elijah called our ancestors back from the trivial, frivolous pursuits of everyday life, reminding them of more sacred endeavors. It didn't end there. Legends abound about him. The book of Malachi portends that Elijah is the harbinger of the Messiah, ushering in a time when the entire world will finally know peace. References to Elijah appear in the New Testament, the Quran, Baha'i writings, the Book of Mormon. He appears time and again throughout the Agadah of the Talmud and Mishnah. The very literature does not merely discuss his life. It has created a new mystical history of him. The biblical account, just a basis for later legend. Artists like Chagall were obsessed with him. His career as a prophet is extensive, colorful, and varied, appearing the world over in the guise of a beggar and scholar. Through story, Hasidic sages revealed how our reverence and love for him reflects our unending expectations and ultimate hopes. And part of that hope was realized this past week, as I mentioned, as Israeli forces rescued 2 hostages early on Monday and reunited them with their families. The rescue in Rafah briefly lifted the spirit of Israelis, and so we offer this prayer. I invite you to please join me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who releases the captives.
Amen.
Now, dozens of hostages are still held by Hamas. They are in captivity. And so I ask that you also read with me this prayer. Our family, the house of Israel, who are in distress, in captivity, may the Holy One have mercy on them and take them out from narrowness to expanse, from darkness to light, from oppression to redemption, swiftly and soon. Elijah the prophet represents another kind of hope. The custom in many Jewish communities is to set a chair like they have for hostages, but this is a time of peace they hope to usher in, and that chair is set at every baby naming bris. Why? Because when tyrannical monarchies and governments attack Judaism, one of the first divine commands they ban is ritual circumcision. These edicts were in effect, for instance, under the rule of the regime by the Syrian Greeks in the Hanukkah story. During the reign of King Ahab, the Jews were also forbidden to circumcise and bring babies into the covenant. Elijah the prophet beseeched God with fervent enthusiasm that no rain should fall until the decree was abolished. And so God said to the prophet, "You always display such zeal. From now on, Jews will never bless their babies without your participation." We sing for Elijah now as we welcome Emma and Jared Cameras to the pulpit so that we can bless that little baby Elliot.
Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hakilati, Bimhera v'yamenu, Yavo Eleinu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi.
Thank you, Cece. Elliot, before you came into this world, you were already loved so fully and deeply, not just by the people in this room, but also by people you will meet soon, and even those whom you may never know. You are truly a lucky little boy, and your father and I will work our entire lives to make sure you never feel alone or unloved in this world.
As your parents, we have endured struggles in our own lives, but we've been made stronger and more resilient because of the people who love us and who love you too. Over the course of your life, it is our hope that you feel the faith that comes from knowing that whatever life throws at you, you have the love and support of your community to give you strength. Today, our people have never been freer to celebrate our faith than at any point in our existence, but at the same time, our people are also facing threats and hatred that are worse than any point your mother and I have felt in our lifetimes. But because of the resilience of our people over centuries, continents, and war, we stand here today able to fulfill the tradition of many, many people who came before us. And may you always be free to celebrate your faith and feel your pride in your Judaism.
Your name, Elliot Isaac, is a testament to that same resilience across the generations. Your first name is in memory of 2 strong women who overcame obstacles and strife to create better lives for your great-grandparents and our grandparents. Etta Markoff was my great-grandmother, who had a deep and lasting impact on your Mimi and on all of the women in our family. She was a brave and progressive feminist who was ahead of her time, and also a master craftswoman who could fix anything with a needle and thread, even famously once a pair of glasses. While circumstance and luck dictated many of the choices she had to make in her life, she embraced adventure and joy whenever and wherever she could. She traveled the world, she pushed boundaries, and she loved her family and friends. She established a lineage of women who stand up for themselves and take pride in what they do, and who can make a delicious blintz.
Edith Rosenthal Camrus lived a complicated life. She wasn't someone I ever got to know, but as the mother to my grandfather, the sacrifices she made from working class New Jersey allowed for the Camrus name to go from working class to security and prosperity in just a couple generations. She looked the other way so my grandfather could enlist at age 17 and go to Korea. Also, he could go to college and have a shot at a better life. And when my grandfather died just a few years ago, he was laid to rest with copies of each of his grandchildren's diplomas, including mine, the thing that he was the most proud of in the world. Your middle name, Isaac, means that you will share the name of the first Camrus on American shores. We know very little about my grandfather's grandfather, Isaac Camrus. We do know that he brought his family to New York from Eastern Europe in the 1880s when he was only in his 20s, likely escaping Russian pogroms and knowing that he likely would never see much of the family he left behind ever again. I can only imagine what Isaac Camrus would think if he could be here today to see the 6th generation of American Camruses. Your birth means that there are now more than 24 Camruses alive today. No small feat for someone who stepped foot on Ellis Island as the only American of our name.
You were also named for your great-grandfather Irving, my Poppy, a character whose story couldn't possibly be contained to one small anecdote. Known as Bletch to many, he lived an extraordinary life full of laughter and goofiness and good food shared with good friends. He served as a mentor for the wayward and the weird and never knew a stranger. The greatest storyteller I've ever known, a deeply kind and generous man, an incredible listener, a talented chef and host, and a rabble-rouser whose streak of trouble and fun spanned across the world. We hope you share his knack for building community through humor, his never-ceasing generosity, and his ability to connect with the humanity of every person and oddball he encountered. You're welcomed into our family and to your faith. As your parents, we already love you more than you may ever understand. No matter where your path takes you, you will always have a home in both. We love you, Elliot Isaac Camrus.
That was beautiful. Careful the flame.
Cece, please report to us. Okay, it's got 4 corners. It's not overcomplicated. Don't catch it on fire. Step more towards me. Step more towards me. Under the tent. It's the least taut thing I've seen in a while. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. Rabbi Lori, let's just bless them because their arms are going to get tired.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you safe always.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha.
May God's face shine upon you and make you smile.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God's countenance shine upon you and through you, and may you be granted the greatest gift. May you always have a sense of shalom, a sense of wholeness, and a sense of peace. Everybody together says,
Amen.
Amen. I think we need an awe, too. Can we get an awe? Sissy, look at all those people out there. Okay, guys,
Oh.
great job.
God is calling.
That was beautiful.
If I go like this, you can go ah one more time.
Aww.
All right, little Elliot, we love you already, just as we love Shabbat, and we are going to sing now in honor of the Sabbath. The words are Vishamru.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat le'doratam berid olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat
b'nei Yuvain, b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael. You can clap your hands. Et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We again invite those who do not find it difficult to please rise for tefillah, our central prayer.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol atah Rav LeHoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishanei Afar, Michamocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emana Tala HaChayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalalu chasala. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We take, as always, a few moments for our own silent thoughts and prayers, and when you are done, you may be seated.
ואהבת לרעך כמוך, לרעך כמוך, כמוך. ואהבת לרעך כמוך, לרעך כמוך, כמוך. How would the world look? How might our days be lighter? How could the heart feel? How might the lands get wider if we loved like that? Really loved like that. ואהבת לרעך כמוך, לרעך כמוך, כמוך. ואהבת לרעך כמוך, לרעך כמוך, כמוך.
It is nice and delightful to see Baxter Overton in our sanctuary. I hope everybody is continuing to heal. We think of other people who are sick, like Judith Mandel and David Rose, Robert Muth, Pam Simmons, Larry Evans, Eddie Sandberg, John Mitchell, Alan Frohl, and Sidney Rappaport. Those are just the names I have in front of me. So if you're thinking of someone from this or another community that is in need of a prayer for healing, we always invite you to say those names aloud.
Kathy Fromson.
We think of as well of all people in the Holy Land who are experiencing pain, and we offer this prayer for healing.
מי שברך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו, may the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. All right, Elliot. The title of the sermon is Truma, which is our Torah portion this week,
Taylor's version. If you know, you know. Last Sunday, after a full morning at religious school, I realized that my plans for a quiet book reading evening wrapped up in a blanket were usurped by a football game. Now, don't worry, it was not 100% terrible, because this particular football game comes with pretty good snacks. And friends, not sure if you are aware, but Taylor Swift was there. Now, she got less than a minute of airtime, but I have to tell you, it really kept things very interesting for me. And I must not have been the only one, because this year's Super Bowl was the most watched event on television in history since the lunar landing, with 124 million people tuning in. Just for data's sake, last year, there were 8 million fewer viewers, and that set the previous record. Now, lo and behold, I found myself actually vaguely interested in the whole spectacle, watching the fans, checking in every once in a while on how Taylor's boyfriend and his buddies were doing, paying rapt attention to the commercials, which is a sermon unto itself, getting to know the MVPs like Jason Kelsey, Taylor's boyfriend's brother, who I'm pretty sure I'd be great friends with if in real life we're given a chance. Now, Taylor was doing her thing, and then of course there was Taylor's boyfriend who was playing good football along with all those other guys in uniform. It was like the stars aligned for me, figuratively and literally, I guess, and I kind of enjoyed it. I think because all of the different players, both on the field and off the field, were bringing the best of what they had and the best of who they were to that moment at hand. Now, in the Torah this week, things are getting very exciting. We've received the 10 Commandments and all the rest of the rules that will lay the foundation for how we live our lives. And now, God asks the people to build a portable sanctuary in which God can dwell through our journey in the wilderness. In the beginning of the Parsha, God says to Moses, "Tell the Israelite people to bring me gifts. You shall accept gifts for me from every person whose heart so moves them." But not just any sanctuary is fit for God. It has to be really cool. You know, like Taylor's bedazzled Chiefs jacket cool. Or Taylor's boyfriend's black sequin suit that he wore to the after party cool. Now, our sacred texts reveal what the bedazzling and sequins of biblical times might have been, asking for things like purple and crimson wool, like ram skins dyed red, go Taylor's boyfriend, dolphin skins and acacia wood, oil and sweet-smelling incense and spices and precious stones. Now, we aren't asked to each contribute a certain amount of money or gold or a prescribed offering. We're asked to bring the very best of what we have, our special stuff, our secret sauce. And it makes sense that God's sacred space would be crafted with love from these gifts of our hearts. Okay, now, think about the ark behind me here on the bema where our Torahs live. And then look at this magnificent ark, which is a model of the Ark of the Covenant, this dwelling place for God that we carried on our shoulders through the desert. That's what those poles are, for carrying. It's plated in gold. It has our tribal symbols on the front. And later in the text, we read about its construction. And the two sculpted images of cherubim, the angels that rest on the top, facing each other, wings stretching to the heavens. Okay, so it's time for a pop quiz. What's between them? What's between those winged angels?
Mercy seat.
Say it again, Drew.
Mercy seat.
Well, it's actually the four-letter word for God. In the Torah, we're told that God's voice will spring forth from between these two figures. And then there, God will come to us and teach us and be with us from that liminal in-between space. And that liminal in-between space that, as Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch points out in his commentary, represents our greatest potential as a people. It's in the smallest detail that the most profound awareness shines through. The faces of the cherubim are turned toward each other. They're facing one another, and that is where God lands. They are in relationship. In Hirsch's words, when our faces are turned toward one another in peace and respect and concern, if we support one another, if we answer for one another, if we can rely on one another, then we're just like those angels. And God is with us too and meets us there. And this reminds me of an incredible text from our tradition about just one way, one very Jewish way to be in relationship with one another. Buried deep in the Mishnah, there is an ancient practice reflecting a deep understanding of the human psyche and spirit. When your heart is broken, when death visits your family, when you feel lost and alone and inclined to retreat, you show up. You entrust your pain to the community. So this text describes a pilgrimage ritual from the time of the Second Temple. Several times each year, hundreds of thousands of Jews would ascend to Jerusalem, the center of Jewish religious and political life, right? We did this on Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot. And we would climb the steps of the Temple Mount and enter its enormous plaza, and then, en masse, turn to the right and circle counterclockwise. Meanwhile, the brokenhearted, the mourners, and I would include the lonely and the sick, they would make the same ritual walk, but they would turn to the left and circle in the opposite direction, every step against the current. And each person who encountered someone in pain would look into that person's eyes and inquire, "What happened to you? Why does your heart ache?" "My father died," a person might say. "There's so many things I never got to say to him." Or maybe, "My partner left and I was completely blindsided." Or, "My child is sick and we're awaiting test results." Those who walked from the right would offer a blessing. "May the Holy One comfort you." They would say, "You're not alone." And they would continue to walk until the next person approached. And Rabbi Sharon Browse notes that this timeless Jewish wisdom speaks to what it means to be human in a world of pain. This year, you walk the path of the anguished. But next year, it may be me. I hold your broken heart, knowing that one day you're going to hold mine. And I read in this text many profound lessons. Two, particularly pertinent in our time, when so many of us feel like we're breaking. First, don't take your broken heart and go home. Don't isolate. Step towards those whom you know will hold you tenderly. Stand between the cherubim and let them, the community, envelop you. And on your good days, the days when you can breathe, show up then also. Because the very fact of seeing those who are walking against the current, people who can barely hold on, and asking with an open heart, "Tell me about your sorrow," may be the deepest affirmation of our humanity, even in terribly inhumane times. It's an expression of both love and sacred responsibility to turn to another person in their moment of deepest anguish and say, "Your sorrow scares the heck out of me, and it unsettles me, but I am not going to abandon you. I will meet your grief with relentless love." Now, we cannot magically fix one another, but we can find each other in our most vulnerable moments and wrap each other up in a circle of care. And we can humbly promise each other, "I cannot fix this for you, but I can promise you do not have to hold it alone." Small, tender gestures remind us that we are not helpless, even in the face of suffering. We maintain the ability, even in the dark of night, to find our way to one another. And God, we need this now. So here's the second lesson from this very ancient text. We as humans naturally incline toward the known. Our tribes can uplift us and order our lives and give us meaning and purpose and direction and pride. But the tribal instinct is also very perilous. The more closely we identify with our tribe, the more likely we are to dismiss or even feel hostility towards those who are outside of it. And one of the great casualties of tribalism is curiosity. And when we're no longer curious, when we don't try to imagine or understand what another person is thinking or feeling or where her pain comes from, well, then our hearts start to narrow. And we become less compassionate and more entrenched in our own worldviews. And we turn away rather than face towards each other like the cherubim. And trauma exacerbates this trend. It reinforces an instinct to turn away from one another rather than make ourselves even more vulnerable. And so we need right now this spiritual rewiring. Imagine a society in which we learn to see one another and say, "What happened to you?" Imagine that we hear one another's stories, say amen to one another's pain, and even pray for one another's healing. Rabbi Browse actually calls this the amen effect. Sincere, tender encounters that help us forge new spiritual and neural pathways by reminding us that our lives and our destinies are intertwined. Because ultimately, it's really the only way for us to find our way to one another and then eventually to heal. So, Elliot, I know, dude, I hear ya. It really was Jewish to find the Super Bowl slightly more interesting this year. I mean, look at the space in between. That holy spark, that divine expanse between those two angelic faces, each of them bringing their most precious offerings to the moment, their talents, their gifts, straight from their hearts. May we each do the same each day of our lives. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Amen. I'm also reading that book.
It's a great book, The Amen Effect. I recommend.
And I must say, Travis Kelce is also a Jewish boy, or he's not Jewish, but he's also from Cleveland. And, you know.
I asked her if she wanted me to put a Tennessee Titans slide in there just so that we didn't upset anybody. Thank you, Rabbi Lori. Thank you, Brett. We are going to begin our concluding prayers with the words of Aleinu. I invite once again the community to please rise, and anyone who would like to come close to Torah as we open our doors, we need somebody to do that. The Averys are always our backup, but they're not alone. Other folks are coming. Awesome. No, come on, Drunka. Camera says no. Just come.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit. Shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu kimishpachot adama. Shelo sam kelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. Vanachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'nehemar v'haya Adonai Melech al kol haaretz. Bayom hahu nihei Adonai echad. U'shemo
We remain standing as our thoughts turn to those people who still touch us through their spirits. We recall on the anniversaries of their deaths, Bernice Gerstein Gordon, Bobby Weinstein, David Massow, Diane Barnett, Ethel Heller, H. Dale Yenzer, Harry Rappaport, Jean Barish, Molly Stein, Mazel Pollock, Nathan Ura, Philip Starr, Samuel Goldman, Samuel Rothschild, Seymour Itzkowitz, Sonia Gitchner, Vanita Nix James. We continue as a community mourning for Matthew Kerlin, Ellen Oakes, Claire Schwartz, Elizabeth Lazar, Richard Dick Eskin, Mary Spencer, Erwin Schwartz, Patricia Helen Barnett Wind, Lizzie Kappelman, Ava Marks, Marvin Millman, Joanne Middleton, Dr. Marvin Schwartz, Sylvia Samus, Shirley Greenberg, Joseph Morton Weinstein, David Alberts, Zakaria Gendy, Trudy Levy, Charles Strobel, Mimi Mitchell, Isa Stanza Burns, Joan Harshman, Ralph Gordon, Jeffrey Davis, Harvey Spark, Donald Pillen, Sam Nickel, and Norman Rudy Saperstein, June Landsberg Weinberg, Marilyn Brenda Otis, Evelyn Dickhouse, Hallie Scruggs, Cynthia Peak, Catherine Kuntz, Mike Hill, Stephen Bender, Janet Wallach, Mark Siegel. If there's any names I've neglected to mention or ones you'd like to add to the list. We think of all people who have been a blessing to humanity, and we join together in the words of Kaddish Yatom, our mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yamad yivrach yirutei v'yamlik malchutei. V'chayachon uv'yomachon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael. V'agala v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mavarach le'alam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birkata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlomo rabba min shamaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. We ask as always that the source of peace send peace to all people who mourn, comfort to all who may be bereaved. We say one final time together. Amen. Amen. We want to thank the Drongowski family for our wine down that we experienced earlier, our pre-neg, and we are going to end here with a kiddush and a closing song, yes?
Yes.
I got the 2 cups because I took them off the shelf for the 2 that were released. That's what's
Absolutely.
going on.
And I just decided we're going to do a very special closing song, so go ahead. Yeah.
You want a kiddush first?
I'm improvising. Yeah, you do it, the kiddush.
All right.
I'm going to turn my microphone on.
Why not?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'tanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat l'chaim.
Amen. There's an artist named Matis Yahu who has a beautiful song called One Day. And recently in, I believe, Arizona and another place, they're refusing to have him play.
Okay.
And we're going to play this song. Sometimes I lay under the moon and thank God I'm breathing. But then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I'm here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around. 'Cause all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and the children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom. Beautiful. So good.